Music Online UK.
And that was Arabesque by Burgmüller. Now the main challenge you're going to find with this piece is the speed, the tempo of the piece. And in the video demonstration that you just heard, it was played at about 116 beats per minute. However, the composer has suggested 152 beats per minute, which sounds a little bit like this. But don't worry, you're not expected to play that fast in a Grade 2 ABRSM exam. However, later on in this video, I will be showing you a method of being able to play anything you like as fast as you like. But before that, we need to look at some smaller details, because if you can't get the little details right at a slower speed, you won't have a chance of getting them right at a fast speed. So first of all, I want you to notice the staccatissimo markings on the left hand. That's the little wedge-shaped things. And they're marked in the first two bars. However, in the third bar it says sim. Sim is an abbreviation for simile, which means in the same manner. So that means you keep on doing these staccatissimo markings all the way through the piece. Okay, now also I want you to notice some of the slurring in the right hand. If you look carefully at this slur mark in the right hand, you can see that it goes all the way to the last note of the bar. However, in the left hand, the slurred notes go just to this staccato note here. Now, the temptation might be to lift the right hand before it is actually marked, so that it sympathises with the staccato in the left hand, like this. Did you hear that? I lifted off the right hand when the left hand did a staccato. However, it should be carried on to the end of the bar and then slurred off onto the last note. Now that happens in every bar on the following 1, 2, 3, 4 bars. The right hand holds on longer than the left hand. Etc. Okay, so watch out for that slurring. Now, also notice at the end of bar 23 there is a little 2-note slur. You lift off that note before you play the next note in bar 24. It might be tempting to slur over the bar line into bar 24 like this. Which would be incorrect. It should sound like this. Lift, slur, lift, lift. So be careful to slur exactly as the composer has marked it. Now I said at the beginning I'm going to show you a way of playing anything as fast and as evenly as possible. First of all, we need to work at the evenness, because if semiquavers are uneven, then you won't be able to play them fast. Now, to play semiquavers evenly, you can use some dotted rhythms. For example, the first 4 bars of the main tune, you could play with a dotted rhythm like this. Then you could invert that dotted rhythm so that you get the long note as the second note of each pair, like this. Thirdly, you could use a long note followed by a triplet, like this. And finally, you could invert that by putting the triplet at the beginning and having the long note as the 4th note of each group. Etc. And mixing up all these different rhythms will put the long notes in different places. usually with fourth and fifth fingers being a little bit weaker than the other three, you tend to trip over a little bit and always have a quick note in certain places where you have weaker fingers. So to counteract that, we put the long notes in all sorts of different places in that group of four. And you can carry on this little method for any groups of four semiquavers, like from bar 11 you could go etc. Now, how can you play anything as fast as you like? First of all, you need to find a speed where you can control everything, and then you use a metronome. Now, a lot of modern smartphones and iPads have metronomes that have a tap function. So if I played this, my beat would be bum 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 bum, and I use that tap function to find out what speed I'm already playing comfortably. Then, say it's about 60 beats per minute. After which, if you can play the whole piece through comfortably without making any mistakes or hesitations, you increase that speed just a little bit to maybe 63. The difference is so small you can hardly notice it. And then increase it by about 5% again to 66. If you notice the difference, it's barely noticeable. Now let's jump ahead a little bit. 120. 126. 132. 138. 144. And 152. Now obviously I missed a whole big chunk out in the middle from about 66 to 120. You wouldn't do that. You would increase the steps very gradually, about 5% at each point. And then you can get up to any speed you like by gradual steps as your muscles develop muscle memory. And that is how to play Arabesque by Burgmüller.